What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs and a little bit of some trade rumors, a little bit of goalie talk, and that's going to lead into another video that I'm going to be posting later this week regarding goalie options. But we've got to talk a little bit about Samsonov. We got to talk about the cap situation, what the cap increase could do to it, potential Nylander contract, and I do have a couple players that the Maple Leafs could be moving on from. There's been a little bit of talk, but it's looking like it's trending towards the Leafs having to make a couple moves to be cap compliant in order to make this team better. So if you guys are new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Join the squad. I'd love to have you guys here. Also, use my code APH20 at Manscaped for 20% off and free shipping. That's APH20 for 20% off and free shipping at Manscaped. Make sure to go do it because, man, like, honestly, it works really well. I know you can't see it right now because I'm growing this out a little bit, but they have a face shaver now, and that thing worked really well when I took this off the first time. So I honestly just want to use it. So we'll have to shave it off again, I guess. We'll have to see. But I really want to get into this video. I don't want to talk too much about the sponsor right now, but the Maple Leafs obviously won against the Ducks. At the time I'm recording this, it's the day after. And, not feeling the greatest today. I'm kind of sick, but I was like, you know what? Let me sit down for a few minutes and make a video. Hopefully this noise in the background isn't too much for you guys. There's some dinging going on my computer here. But the Maple Leafs showed that they can win games and battle adversity when facing a really hot goaltender. They put up like 54 shots, man, like on, I believe his name is Dostal, or I hope I'm not saying that incorrectly, but he was very good. But the Leafs shouldn't be struggling with the Anaheim Ducks. And the fact of the matter is the Maple Leafs need to find ways to improve this hockey club without shedding too much of their future and mortgaging their future in terms of picks and stuff like that. But with the cap situation that they're in, with all the injuries that they have, it's making it, a little bit harder for them to make some moves, but the LTIR space and everything like that is opening up some room for them. But before we get any further, we need to talk about somebody who unfortunately is a part of the equation when it comes to all of these things, and that's Ilya Samsonov. So Samsonov hasn't been playing very well, as we know, and he's working on his mental health. And I really, as somebody who's gone through some issues like that, I wish him all the best, and I hope that he figures out what he needs to do to get himself better, because it sucks. Mental health sucks, and, we want to be feeling good, and we want to feel good about ourselves and other people. So I really wish him the best, but there's some information on this that we need to go through because he has been assigned to the Marlies in the AHL. He won't be practicing with the Marlies or playing with the Marlies at this stage. They're going to get him some one-on-one time. He's going to be working with the Marlies goaltending coach, Hannu Toivonen, in Toronto, the development team, and I'm saying this because it's a quote, but their performance team off the ice. So they want to make sure that mentally he's doing a little bit better, and he's having a terrible season. Look, like, I'm not trying to harp on the guy, but this isn't how Samsonov was before. Like, his record right now, 5-2-6. He's got an NHL career worst in goals against average, and I believe save percentage as well, 3.94 goals against and a save percentage of 862, and that's the worst that he's had so far in his career, and that's only 15 starts in, but that's a pretty decent sample size to see where he's trending. This is kind of a similar situation with what Jack Campbell was going through and is still going through, and again, I also wish him the absolute best as well. But the Maple Leafs have kind of put themselves in a little bit of trouble because Samsonov is costing them, over $3 million. He's at $3.5 million. And if the Maple Leafs find themselves in a chance or an opportunity to upgrade at goal, they're going to have to move on from his contract. And that's why I want to pull up Cap Friendly here in a second to show you guys how they're going to have to make this move and what they're going to have to do. So if I'm pulling it up for you guys right now, as you guys can see, this is, roughly what their lineup looks like on any given night. They've got a couple extras when it comes to their blue line. So let's just say the Maple Leafs are going to call Samsonov back up because they're only burying about $1 million right now. So Samsonov And then you're likely putting Hildeby back down in the minors. And of course, you also want to get Joseph Wool back in there because he's going to be there very soon. I'm leaving Martin Jones there because I'm wondering if any team would claim him because he's been pretty good as of late. You're probably sending Lagesson down, and you're probably doing the similar thing with Connor Timmins. Now they could always just call him back up. And then obviously you're also doing the same thing with Pontus Holmberg because you're trying to accrue as much cap space as possible. So that's giving the Leafs around $2.7 million in cap space. But what needs to happen is more than likely trading Samsonov's $3.5 million in order to make an upgrade in goal. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, the Leafs are screwed no matter what. Their cap situation is bad. But as I've just pulled up here, the cap is going to go up. And of course, guys like Matthews and Nylander getting extensions takes up a lot of that money. But at the same time, the Maple Leafs will more than likely be moving on from a couple of their players. I would think Tyler Bertuzzi unfortunately moves on, and that's a $5 million contract right there, and so on and so forth. But I'm showing you all this because this is also like a bit of a preview for another video that I'm making. But I wanted just to show you guys like that in order for the Maple Leafs to make that upgrade and for them to do something, they would probably have to trade Samsonov. And his mental health not being in a good place right now, I would feel pretty bad seeing that guy have to get traded. But so he's going to have to be a salary dump for some team if the Maple Leafs want to go out there and actually make an addition. They can ride with Woll and Jones for a little bit and then let Samsonov go and potentially maybe restart in another place that could give him a better opportunity, that he would just be kind of away from the big spotlight for a little bit and try to play his way into another contract into the NHL. But another interesting name that's been brought up quite a bit in trade talk, and because he's kind of found himself on the outside looking in a couple times and most recently being a scratch, and that's Nick Robertson. And I've always been a big Nick Robertson fan. I still don't think the Maple Leafs should really move on from this guy because he's still relatively cheap. That cap hit coming in under $800,000 for a 22-year-old. But the fact of the matter is that if the Maple Leafs are trying to, open up some room, they're going to have to make a decision because 11 points in 24 games isn't that bad, but he hasn't really shown the game that we were accustomed to. Like when he was playing with the Marlies, he was explosive and he scored a lot of really nice goals because he has such an elite shot, but he's not making those opportunities for himself, and he's not finding those holes and finding those opportunities to score against teams in the NHL. And sure, I do think that the Leafs should hold on to him, but if the Leafs have to make a move for a defenseman or for a goaltender, you're almost pretty sure that Nick Robertson is in that tier of guys where it's like teams would be interested in him, and a pick and a prospect and maybe another player or maybe another prospect. Nick Robertson's a guy that the Maple Leafs might have to include in a package for a goalie or for a defenseman, because you're not just going to get these guys for pennies on the dollar. And teams probably won't even just accept a Nick Robertson as the prospect because they're looking for more. But I wanted to bring up those two things because I get questions all the time in regards to what are they going to do if they go after Tanev? Like, how are they going to clear space? What do they need to do if they're going to get a goaltender? How do they clear space? Well, this is kind of the preview for the next video I'm going to do, like I said earlier, because these two are pieces that would probably have to move on, and that's Samsonov and potentially Nick Robertson, but maybe even a Ryan Reeves, but that's a longer contract. They gave him a few years, like 4 years or something like that, right? Over $1 million. So they have to get creative. They have to figure it out. And I want to turn it over to you guys. Like, what do you think they should do, and how do you think they're going to do it? And again, like I said, this is a preview for my next video where we're going to go over the goalie options that the Maple Leafs probably have, and guys that could be suiting up for the blue and white before the end of this season. So if you guys are new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Join the squad. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, use code APH20 at Manscaped for free shipping and 20% off. That's code APH for 20% off. Sorry, APH20 for 20% off and free shipping. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Go Leafs go, and leave your comments down below. Peace.